economists say that the housing market is at its most unaffordable levels in recent history.
There's one real estate analyst who says the housing market looks a lot like it did in 2008. Ouch. At least for home builders, that is.
Big news that's impacting millions of home buyers and sellers.
Yeah, just this week, the average mortgage rate in this country on a 30-year fixed loan hit a stunning 8%. It's the highest that it's been since 2000.
Billionaire Warren Buffett speaking out on President Trump's tariff plans over the weekend, calling the policies a, quote, act of war.
Are you making a real estate move in the next 6 months? Before you do, listen to this video because it's going to provide you all kinds of great information. Hi there, my name is Maggie Eterno with Eterno Realty Group. I'm a local real estate agent in the greater Athens area. My team and I work the metro Atlanta area and the greater Athens area. We serve families just like you, and we help you move in and out and around Georgia every single day. Today, we are getting into the data, and I'm going to give you a real estate market update for Q1 that cuts through all the noise that you're hearing in the media. I'm going to tell you what's going on in the metro Atlanta suburbs, in the greater Athens area, and how it connects to the bigger national picture, and most importantly, what it means for you and your next real estate move. You've probably heard that the market is slowing down. Sure, some stats are dipping, but let's be clear, slower doesn't mean crashing. In fact, even with fewer sales and longer days on market, you'll never believe it, home prices are still rising. Maybe not as fast as before, but they are still moving up. So that tells us the foundation of this market is still strong. Now let's zoom out for a little bit and look at the national picture because it gives us important context to what we're seeing here locally. So despite all the doom and the gloom, the market is still steady, especially the labor market is still steady. We've got more job openings than people unemployed, so the issue isn't a lack of work, it might be whether people are in the right roles. The job market is softening, but it's far from collapsing. Another stat that we look at nationally is GDP, or gross domestic product. So what this means is basically how much the economy is growing overall. And right now it's slowing down. Last year we were at 2.8%, but this year projections are coming in under 1.7%, and the first quarter could even dip into negative territory. Now, why does this even matter? Well, because when the economy grows more slowly, it impacts everything from job confidence to consumer spending, and ultimately that filters into the housing market. But the fact that home prices are still going up, even with a softer economy, that just shows you how resilient the housing market really is. So what does all this mean for the housing market? Well, here's another thing. The feds are watching inflation closely, and as long as the prices stay high, they're not likely to lower the rates. Even though consumer demand is cooling, those inflationary pressures mean that the feds are playing it safe, and that's part of why mortgage rates remain high. People are just not super confident in the economy right now. So in March, consumer sentiment was at 57.9, which is way down from 101 back in early 2020, right before the pandemic hit. So yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty out there, but here's what's interesting. Even with all that hesitation, home sales are actually expected to go up this year. Now, affordability is still a challenge, but right now, principal and interest payments are taking up about 35% of someone's income. That's close to what we saw in 2006 during the peak of the housing bubble. Now, the only thing that would ease this short term is a significant drop in interest rates, and based on everything we're seeing in the broader economy, that's not likely to happen overnight. This is why we tell people, if you see something that you really love right now, buy it. You can always refinance later if the interest rates do go down. Now, for my first-time home buyers, this is something I tell all of my clients. The best way to protect yourself and to hedge yourself from inflation is to buy real estate. Think about it. If you go ahead and you purchase your first home, now your first home may not be your dream home, but if you go ahead and purchase it, you're locked in at a rate, you're locked in at a monthly payment, and you're secure to know that even if inflation goes up, even if things change, that doesn't mean anything because you're protected yourself from inflation by going ahead and buying now at a monthly payment that's comfortable for you. So you guys, the sky isn't falling. The national market is just adjusting, and it's doing it in a way that still points to long-term stability. So now let's circle back to what is happening here in Georgia. Let's talk local numbers. So here are your local numbers. We're going to start off with Metro Atlanta. So in Barrow and Hall counties, new listings are up 15 to 20%. Buyers finally have breathing room and actual choices. We haven't seen that in a few years. So remember when houses would hit the market and they would be gone before the weekend? Now buyers actually have time to think about it. That doesn't mean that they're taking forever to decide. Some might, but the panic has definitely softened. So let's talk closed sales. Closed sales are down. Jackson County saw a 21% drop, Gwinnett County 9%. It might sound scary, but it doesn't mean no one is buying. It just means people are taking a little more time to decide, which brings us to this. Prices are still inching up. Forsyth leads the pack with a median price of $602,000. Jackson holds steady at $379,000, and Barrow County went up to $370,000. So even with fewer homes selling, values are still climbing, and that tells us that demand is still strong enough to support price growth. We're not heading for a crash. This is a recalibration. Now, days on market, they're up. Forsyth is averaging 47 days on market, Jackson 45. Again, this is more normal than anything. And gone are the days that you put your house up for sale and it goes under contract within the hour. Buyers just have more of an advantage right now, and they're able to take their time. Now, sellers, you can still sell when your property is priced right and looks good and presented well. Let's zoom in on Clark and Oconee County. Now, Oconee County continues to shine with a $557,000 median home price. That is up 10% year over year. Families are moving here for the schools, the land, and the lifestyle, and they're willing to pay for it. Now, Clark County is a little more balanced. The median home price is down slightly to $321,000, but homes are moving in about 31 days, which is faster than many metro counties. That's huge. That means that buyers are still serious in Clark if the home checks their boxes. Let's talk a little bit about price per square foot. Oconee's seeing about $200 per square foot, Clark about $170. So if you're a buyer, that's your signal. Clark offers value, Oconee offers prestige. Both require strategy to win. This market rewards clarity and preparation. So buyers, yes, the rates are around the mid-6s at the time of this recording, and affordability is tight, but if prices are still rising, waiting could cost you more than buying right now. The right property, the right strategy, and the right terms make all the difference. Now, sellers, you're in a good position if you price it right and present your home well. It's not about being on the market. Listen to me, it's about being in the market, competitive, appealing, and prepared. So ask yourself, do I want to play defense or take control of my timing? Even with inflation pressures and global uncertainties, we're still seeing national growth in home sales and prices and local strength and values across almost every county I serve. So this isn't 2008. This is a more normalized, balanced market. And if you know how to navigate it, and if you partner with a local real estate agent like me, there's opportunity everywhere. So think of it this way. You don't need the market to be perfect. You need to be prepared. And if this gave you some clarity, then hit like, subscribe, share it with someone who needs a local guide and some national insight. Now, again, I am not a certified national advisor or any of that sort in the economy section of the world. I am just Maggie Turno, your local real estate agent who loves looking at data and loves serving and helping my clients understand a little bit about what's going on, because the media is going to tell you what the media wants to tell you. But if you look at the numbers are going to tell you the truth. And so that's what we did today. We looked at local numbers, and as always, things can change. And so if you have any questions, if you're going to purchase anything or sell anything in the next year, let's chat. Let's get prepared now so that you can see things coming down the road versus getting prepared later. All right, that's all for today, guys. Again, see you soon.